you doing? Chef Jay here, and today in the product spotlight we have the Instantpot Duo 60 Plus. Now, if you haven't seen it, make sure you go check it out. We did an unboxing video on this product, so I showed you everything that comes with it and in it. But now we're going to talk about the actual features and functions of the product and why everybody is raving about the Instantpot. One of the biggest features on the Instantpot is the quickness and how fast it actually cooks things. I tell people that what you want to think about when you're talking about an Instantpot and whether or not you should get it, and once you do get it, how much you will use it, it will cut down your cooking time by at least a third, if not more, depending upon what it is. Let me give you some examples. If you have a pork shoulder, and you can get different types of pork shoulders. If you have a bone-in pork shoulder that you put inside of your Instantpot, normally that's going to be a 2-3 hour process, slow-low in your oven. In your Instantpot, it will take around 45 to 50 minutes. Short ribs of beef, again, beautiful. We love short ribs of beef. They braise nice and slow. You put them in the oven. You make sure that you have a nice lid on there. Again, 3-4 hours in the oven. In your Instantpot, it is going to take you 20 to 30 minutes to do an 8-ounce short rib. I did 6 8-ounce short ribs in here in about 30 minutes. Roasts, pretty much everything. And then we start to get into the basic things that you do with your Instantpot. When we talk about cooking times, we have rice. Now, with rice, it is very straightforward, and it takes 20 minutes to do rice on your stovetop. But when you're talking about cooking in an Instantpot, rice is going to take you 4 to 6 minutes to do for white rice. It's going to take you 6 to 8 minutes for brown rice. Your forbidden rice or your wild rice is going to take you 10 to 12 minutes. That is completely done in your Instantpot. What you do have to think about when you're using your Instantpot are a few different things. Those different things are how much liquid you use, the time that you cook, and also the item that you're cooking. Let's go back to our pork shoulder. With a pork shoulder in your Instantpot, you're going to be able to cook it in under an hour, and it'll be nice, tender, delicious, full of flavor. And I'll explain why it's full of flavor more than it would be in your oven in one moment. But because of the time that you're cooking in here, things that you put in here are going to vary. Now, what does that mean? If we take our pork shoulder, for example, and we have a 6-pound pork shoulder, you can fit a 6-pound roast in here with no problem. You can get that pork shoulder bone in, or you can get that pork shoulder with no bone, okay? You can get a highly marbleized pork shoulder, or you can get one that's a little leaner. Now, we know pork shoulder is always going to have a good amount of fat in it, but they vary depending upon the size of the animal it was taken from, how they cut it, when they butchered it, what do they do to it. Those times are going to vary slightly when you go to put it in your Instantpot. Now, when you put it in your Instantpot, you're going to have the ability, because it's taking only an hour, to check it. Once you check it, if it's not where you want it to be, just put it back in, pop the lid on, it will repressurize, and then just cook it for another 5 to 7 minutes, depending upon what you want the level of doneness to be, or how, if you're making pulled pork, you might want it to be so it's even more shreddable. With your Instantpot and cooking things, like I say, rice, the only things you're going to need to adjust. Typical rice combination is 2 to 1. 2 cups of water, 1 cup of rice. When you're using your Instantpot, because it's using pressure cooking, you do not want to use the full 2 cups of water, because that full 2 cups of water will make your rice super super mushy. What you want to do is you want to utilize a 1.5 to 1 ratio. So instead of it being a 2 to 1 ratio, it's 1.5 to 1 ratio. Okay, what that's going to do is that is going to keep your rice nice, light, and fluffy. Okay, and because you have features on your Instant Pot such as saute, you can even go one step further when you're making your rice. Hit your saute button. Then once you hit your saute button, you go back, saute your rice, and then you go put your water in, your 1.5 cups of water, and then you close your lid and you put it on rice. And what that will do is that will keep your grains of rice nice, light, and fluffy. Kind of like you do a rice pilaf when it is on your stovetop and then into the oven. Okay, so let's talk about some of the features that are on our Instant Pot. Okay, when you look at this, this is going to be your 6-quart Instant Pot, and we already did the unboxing, so make sure you check out that video. So you're going to have your 6-quart Instant Pot. Inside of your Instant Pot, there's a max line. Don't fill it past the max line, because what happens is, because pressure builds, it bubbles up, okay? And you don't want to fill over the max line and then it goes into your reservoir. That's not something you want to do, because outside of this pot, inside of here is all your electrics. Make sure you put no liquid inside of this Instant Pot. This does not need to get submerged in any type of liquid, okay? Take a towel, paper towel or a sponge and just wipe out the inside. A little bit of warm soapy water, but that's it. Realistically, you're inside of your Instant Pot, and I've had mine for almost like over a year now. This is what it looks like. It doesn't have a whole lot of food caked up and baked up on it. It doesn't happen because this pot is where everything goes. Even on the bottom of the pot, you can see it's not all carbonized from when you put something on your stove. So you have, I always put my power cord inside so that we know where it is whenever we're looking for it. So let's look at the features on our Instant Pot, and I'll hold it up here. For your Instant Pot, there are going to be multiple preset features along the side of your Instant Pot, and they range anywhere from rice to meat stew to porridge, and they call it porridge, but we'll talk about that in a second. It's porridge, but you can use it for oatmeal. There's a multi-grain button. There's a rice button. You can do eggs in here, okay? And with the eggs, each feature on your Instant Pot has 3 buttons that you push, okay? The first button is going to be for what they call less, okay? And less is going to be your low setting. The second button that you push is going to be for what's normal or your medium setting. And this last setting is going to be more, which is going to be high or your high setting. So think about it like your stove, your range top. If you put it on low, then that's going to be your less. If you put it on medium, that's going to be your normal. And if you put it on high, that's going to be your more. So those are the 3 things. And people always say, oh, this is a hard process. I don't understand how it works. I don't know what to do. As long as you can do 1, 2, 3, you're good, because you're going to see it change for each and every button that you push. So back to your eggs, if you're going to do hard-boiled eggs in your Instant Pot, you have multiple choices. You can either do poached eggs, okay? You can do soft-boiled eggs, or you can do hard-boiled eggs right in your Instant Pot. Now, there are trivets and there are other things, little racks that let you stand up your eggs, and then you put a small amount of water in here. You hit your egg button that's right here. When you hit your egg button, you'll push it 1, 2, or 3, depending upon what you want it to do. Whether you want it to be soft, you want it to be poached, you want it to be hard boiled. Now, hope you're paying attention. Here we go. Once you are done cooking anything in your Instant Pot, the next thing you need to do is think about 2 options that you have. The first option is going to be what's called QR. So when you look at your recipes on your Instant Pot, you're going to see QR or NPR. Okay, any recipe is going to have QR, NPR. Some of the older recipes that are out there will say manual or natural. So what those two things are is you have a QR, which is a quick release, and you have an NPR, which is a natural pressure release for your Instant Pot. And how do you regulate those two things? Once your Instant Pot pressurizes, this little button pops up, okay? So this little button pops up. Once that button pops up, your Instant Pot is pressurized. When your Instant Pot is pressurized, you cannot open it. It's a safety mechanism. You can't open it, so nothing happens. It's a safety thing. What will happen is if you put in your hard-boiled eggs, and you put your hard-boiled eggs in for 4 minutes, and you go in and you want your hard-boiled eggs out, what you need to do is you need to do what's called a quick release, a QR. So here you'll have this little valve that goes up and down, all right? This will release the pressure and this will seal the pressure. Now the next thing that everyone says to me, oh my goodness, this thing is so loose, what's going on? Mine's gonna fall off. No, that's not gonna fall off. It's made that way. You can pull that off, clean it, because you'll get condensation in here. So you want to clean it out. You know, you'll get a little bit of water or whatever the case may be. But this is meant to pop on and off. It will never tighten, people, so don't freak out. It's never going to tighten. This is how it's always going to be. So you flip it down to release, and then this way is seal. Okay? When you can't push it anymore, it's at seal. When you want to do a quick release, you just push this down, and that's going to quick release the pressure out of your Instant Pot. When you go to cook, make sure, because I just put some cauliflower in my Instant Pot yesterday and did not check this. It happens, you know, none of us are perfect. But if you don't, the pressure will never build, your product will never cook, and then you'll come back and say, oh, this Instant Pot is horrible. Make sure you flip this up, and as it's going, you come back and check it. Make sure this is popped up, okay? The other thing I get a lot of questions on is, what do I do with my lid? I put it down, I get water everywhere, I don't know what to do with it. These little tabs on the side correspond to the tabs that are here, and you just take it and you put it on the side of your Instant Pot. Wow, yes, and it's very simple. That's all you have to do. You put the tabs on the side of the Instant Pot. You want to put it over there. You're right-handed, left-handed. It doesn't really matter. That's all you have to do. Okay? So back to NPR and QR. If you're doing vegetables, you want to steam your vegetables, you throw some broccoli in here, and you want to steam it up nice. You put a little bit of water. You put your broccoli in, and then you go to steam your broccoli for 3 minutes. After your 3 minutes are up, you need to be there. You need to make sure that when that timer goes off and the 3 minutes is done, you don't leave your Instant Pot closed with your broccoli in there. Why do you say? Well, because it is still cooking. As long as there's pressure built up in here, it's still cooking. Now, what will happen is once the cycle is complete, it will automatically flip over to keep warm, and that warming temperature will continue to cook your food. The pressure will release, and then it'll naturally vent out, okay? But if you're cooking broccoli and you like a nice crisp broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, asparagus, whatever the case may be, you want to make sure that you hit your QR and you flip this down, so that way your seal is released, it lets the pressure out, and then you can pop it open and take your broccoli out in 4 minutes, and then you'll be happy because it'll be delicious. The other things that are on here, you can bake a cake in your Instant Pot. Cheesecakes, regular cakes, They're going to come out light, fluffy, and delicious. You do not put your cake batter, I'm sorry, I have to say this. You do not put your cake batter directly in here. What you do is, comes with a trivet, like I showed you in the unboxing, comes in a trivet. You put the trivet at the bottom, you put your cake pan on top of that, okay? So this is the 6-quart Instant Pot. This will fit probably a 7.5 to 8-inch cake round, no bigger, because you want to make sure that you have some airflow around your cake pan and you don't jam it in there. People do creme brulees in here and they come out absolutely delicious. Flan, you can fit four 6-ounce ramekins at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And then the lady I was speaking to says she does 5 because she puts one right in the middle. And that'll work fine. Okay? It'll come out perfectly okay. They do make other trivets where you can get multiple layers out of them. Look online for that. And if you know any good ones, or you make a good one, send it to me and I will test it out for you and show everybody how wonderful it is. The other thing you have to realize about this is that this is stainless steel. Okay, it's not aluminum. This is stainless steel. So some people have issues with stainless steel. They also have a non-stick version of this. Okay, again, these are all items that you can find online, in local culinary stores, things of that nature. There's also glass lids that can go on here, so if you want to bring this out to your table and sit it down on your table, put a glass lid and keep it on keep warm. It keeps warm for over 99 hours. Anyway, you can keep this on your table, glass lid, warm, and it's good. The one thing about keep warm, I just need everybody to realize it is on. So if you have something in here that you're keeping warm, stir it occasionally, okay? Because if not, it'll stick to the bottom. Talking about sticking to the bottom, these things are super easy to clean, okay? Warm soapy water, little scrub brush, okay? And then it'll scrub right out. You don't have to get in here with Brillo or anything else like that. If you find something is sticking to your Instant Pot, just soak it in warm soapy water overnight, and then in the morning time you'll see it releases. It's really good and very easy to clean. Sure, you clean the inside and the outside. Back to some of the other things that are on here. Everyone says, well, I have a slow cooker at home. I don't, what am I going to do? I don't want to get rid of my slow cooker, but once you start using your Instant Pot, you will. Slow cooker feature is on here, so there is what they call a delayed start, because if we know it takes 30 minutes for an item to be done and we're going to be out all day, we don't need to cook it first thing in the morning. We set the delayed start for however many hours we want it to be, and then we go on about our business. This will cut on. We know it's going to take 30 minutes, it comes on, cooks your food. By the time you get in, it's already on keep warm and done. Some other really good features about this, we talked about porridge. You can do, if you eat steel cut oats, your steel cut oats normally take 30 to 40 minutes on the stovetop. If you're cooking them correctly, sure, you can get them done in a shorter period of time. In here, 10 to 12 minutes, your steel cut oats are done. Same thing with grits and anything like that. There's also what we have on here is called a multi-grain feature. So your couscous, your quinoa, your barley, things like that will cook in here in a shorter period of time. Normally it takes couscous 20 minutes, and I take my couscous, my pearls, put them in a bowl, my seasoning, hot water in, and then wrap it with plastic for around 20 minutes. Doesn't need to go on the stovetop or anything else like that. With this, you have the ability to put it in here and then it will keep it warm. It's gonna take you anywhere from 4 to 6 minutes to do your couscous. The beautiful thing about the Instant Pot is that when you go to cook grains, like your rice, like your barley, like your couscous, like your quinoa, it will automatically set it to low pressure, okay? Why does it set it to low pressure? Because the high pressure will actually explode the grain of rice. It'll explode your barley, and it'll just make it mushy and horrible. It only cooks at low pressure when you specifically select one of these grain buttons, whether it's rice, whether it's multigrain, no matter what the case may be. You can fit, let's talk about how much you can get in here. This, like I said, is a 6-quart version of the Instant Pot. There's a 3-quart version, there is a 6-quart version, and then there is an 8-quart version. My 6-quart version of my Instant Pot, I can fit anywhere from 8 to 9 pounds of potatoes in here. During the holidays, you make a ton of mashed potatoes, a ton of sweet potatoes, a 10-pound bag of potatoes cut in quarters fits in here with no problem. Little bit of water at the bottom, and you put your seasoning in. And my russet potatoes that I was using for my mashed potatoes took 4 minutes. Sweet potatoes for sweet potato casserole took 6 minutes. Okay, so it's super quick, super quick. And then you can even leave it in here and serve directly from your pot. Holidays are coming up, you know, get yourself some Instant Pots and set them up. And instead of being in the kitchen all day, you're actually in here a shorter period of time. Some other things about the Instant Pot. If you are unsure as to where you want it to be, or let's say you've come accustomed to making specific things and you know if you put it on meat and the only setting or the lowest you can go is 12 minutes, and I'm just saying, and you want to actually change that, you can hit the plus and minus, okay? And that will change the time. There's also a pressure setting on here that will allow you to change the pressure. So if you wanted to cook at high pressure or low pressure, you can do that. When is that important? That's important for things that are less fatty and less connective tissues. If you have a pork shoulder we'll go back to, as opposed to a pork loin, then that pork loin is not going to need to be cooked at high pressure. It's already a lean piece of meat. You're going to dry it out. So make sure you are actually using your pressure settings the right way. High pressure, low pressure. This tool is just like your ovens, okay? It's just like your stovetop. It's just like you're using gas or electric. You have to kind of see where it is. You know, when you put your cookies in there, and sometimes you have to spin it because one part of the oven is hot or cold. Same thing here. You're going to have to play around with it. You're going to have to use your adjustments. Settings for things are going to come based on what you purchase. You can't just look at recipes for your Instant Pot and say, well, all recipes are going to be the same, so I'm just going to throw my chicken in here and roast it for 3 hours because someone else did that. It might not be the same type of chicken. It might not be whatever the case may be. You have to go in and look at this Instant Pot as a tool that is going to cut down your cooking time to a third or a fourth of the time that you're looking to do it. Not much else. Make sure that you are actually testing items before you cook them. What does that mean? If you are planning to throw a big party and you're going to do pulled pork and you want to cook it in your Instant Pot, a week or two before, go buy yourself a small pork shoulder. Try it out. See what happens. Don't just, you know, throw it in here because, well, Chef Jay said you can do it, so it has to be, well, that is, you can do that. But I'm going to recommend that you try stuff out. You know, throw some potatoes in here. See how much liquid you need. The other thing that's very important, seasoning changes with your Instant Pot. What does that mean? That means that if you're used to using, and this is going to sound outrageous, if you're used to using a cup of salt in your items when you cook them, you will cut that down by more than a half, okay? Because the Instant Pot uses pressure to cook. So what does that mean for the flavor that's inside of your Instant Pot? That flavor is now getting pushed inside the meat. So it's more flavorful, it's more juicy, it's more tender, okay? So you're gonna find yourself adjusting how much seasoning you actually use in your Instant Pot. Again, trial and error, okay? You're gonna try something, oh man, that's really salty. You're probably using too much seasoning, okay? You don't need to use that much seasoning in your Instant Pot. All right, overall, I think that's pretty much all I'm going to talk about today on the Instant Pot. If there are specific things that you want to know about and specific questions that you have, please, when you like, comment, and share this video, write your questions in the comment section, okay? And then I will answer any questions or comments that you have. I will also be doing some Instant Pot recipes, so you can actually check those out. They will be posted on my YouTube channel and pretty much all my social media. So, again, let's wrap this up. Your Instant Pot product spotlight. I think the Instant Pot is a great product. It will change the way you cook because the times that you normally spend in the kitchen, you're not going to have to spend in the kitchen anymore. You're going to be able to reduce those times. You're going to come out with a more flavorful product. You're going to come out with a juicier product in less than the amount of time that you're used to dealing with.